Resident Evil. The pioneer of the survival horror genre has delivered scares.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Bad voice acting.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
And turned a generation of gamers into hoarders.
I found something.
What is it?
A Jill sandwich. It's really powerful.
Playing this game as a kid, I remember during my first playthroughs the mad dash away from zombies as they swarm and eventually overwhelm you. As the game progresses, the player character usually unlocks the greatest weapon known to man, the shotgun. Once you receive this godly weapon, you're able to blow the heads off zombies with a satisfying pop, or level entire crowds of C-virus infected beasts. As you grow more proficient, you see that zombies are able to be killed relatively easily, even with your handgun.
Be wise
1,
here.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, there we go.
Yay.
2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3,
And they're all
4.
dead. So this is why his gun is.
But if zombies are so easily able to be killed, how were the Raccoon police and the US military unable to prevent the outbreak from engulfing the vast majority of Raccoon City? So today, let's talk about how Resident Evil 2 Remake fixes the Raccoon City Incident. The classic Resident Evil formula has you taking the role of a single character who is trying to navigate their way through a monster-filled nightmare. The first game is a relatively simple and small story set in a lonely mansion in the woods.
What a mansion!
This house of residing evil comes complete with nonsensical puzzles and traps designed by the mind of some madman for mysterious purposes.
Hey, what's going on?
Jill? Is that you, Jill? What happened?
Barry, help me please. The door won't open. Quick!
The moans of the undead fill the stale air of the manse, and your chances of survival and rescue are slim. In reality, the mansion is only populated by a handful of these rotting corpse-like creatures. You take on the role of a STARS member, a member of an elite police... Special Forces unit. Shh, don't think about it. With your ever-growing arsenal, you escape the nightmare that was the Spencer Mansion. Resident Evils 2 and 3
Kick it up a little bit.
Bam! Bam! Bam!
The zombie nightmare that the STARS members fought so valiantly against in the mansion incident has now spread and encompassed Raccoon City. The police and military begin setting up blockades, quarantine zones, and shelters for the civilian population. Hell, even Umbrella, the nonsensically evil pharmaceutical company, sends in their corporate mercenary force, ostensibly, to aid in quelling the disaster.
Our mission is to rescue the civilians.
How kind of you. Considering Umbrella caused all this in the first place,
Wait a minute. No one finds it weird that a pharma company has a mercenary task force and military-grade weaponry on hand? Does Pfizer have their own military? How about Johnson & Johnson? Goop? Shh. Don't think about it. So, with all these precautions in place, how were these armed groups unable to stem the, admittedly ever-growing, zombie menace? I mean, the protagonists of the series are usually lone operators, and they managed to single-handedly fend off the hordes. How were the military and police, who were well armed from the start, not able to nip this in the bud? Look at the opening of Resident Evil 3. A SWAT and police blockade with officers armed with automatic weaponry and the godly shotgun. Are we not going to do it Until Remake 2 came out, the issue was usually explained by 4 factors. Sheer numbers of zombies. Military and police panic.
That's the mayor's daughter. I was told to look after her, but I failed miserably. But it will soon putrefy, and she will turn into a zombie within the hour, like all the others.
Infected survivors being given shelter, which let the enemy into safety zones.
There must be some way to stop it.
In a manner of speaking, there is. Either by putting a bullet through her brain, or by decapitating her completely.
And the habit for police and military to shoot at center mass. As mentioned, zombies were traditionally vulnerable to headshots, or about 5 or so bullets to the chest. Hell, if you get good enough, you can knife down the pasty bastards. The zombies could obviously take more of a beating than a regular uninfected human, and were a threat, especially if they ganged up on you. But at least in this scene, the police had set up a blockade, and everyone had weaponry that should have been more than enough to handle this particular Zerg rush. So what exactly did Remake 2 do? Simple. Let me demonstrate.
Just great. Fucking hell. Shit! Oh, what the hell?
Remake's zombies aren't just tough. They're tough. These guys are roided up on the T-virus and hungry for the sweet protein in your man flesh. In Remake 2, even a single zombie is a legitimate threat. I'm a Resident Evil 2 veteran, and played that game more times than I can count. When I tried gunning down my first zombie in Remake 2, I was terrifyingly surprised to find that these things wouldn't go down. While it's entirely possible to gun down a single zombie, it's just as possible for that to require firing the weapon to empty, reloading, and then emptying the weapon again into these not technically undead bastards. With just how durable these guys are, and the commensurate upgrade to the threat of other of Umbrella's abominations like Lickers, Hunters, and Tyrants, the military's ultimate decision to bomb the city to ash makes a heck of a lot more sense. The zombie menace could not be allowed to escape the confines of the quiet, Midwestern city of Raccoon. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode. I can honestly say that Remake 2 was one of the best games I've ever played. And if this is the quality Capcom is going to be pushing out, I think we're in for a new golden age of survival horror. How about you? What was your most horrifying moment playing Remake 2? What are you hoping for in the remake to Nemesis? Comment down below. As always, you can find me on Twitter @NerdTalkDan. Remember to like and subscribe, as well as hitting that bell icon if you don't want to become my nemesis.